While the guys make their modifications, Carrie is creating some feet.
Adam already has made a mold for our steel cap boot experiment in the past, and I'm going to use this because it makes a great skeleton foot.
The skeleton is made from a mix of urethane and fiberglass that dries to a realistic bone-like texture.
Oh, that's a good mold Adam made here. This one fits into here. This one.
Then they're encased in a foot-shaped mold of ballistics gelatin.
Nice.
Her feet are definitely suffering from fallen arches, but they'll do just fine.
Okay, just go stick these in the fridge till we use them.
Now, because we're all dog lovers here at MythBusters, to test the turkeys falling on small pets myth, Carrie is making fake pooches. She covers canine replica skeletons in ballistics medium. This is definitely not a breed recommended for families with small children.
This is not a normal family Christmas for me because the dogs in my family are very cute and snuggly. They're neither drippy nor frightening.
To up the realism, professional still life model Gertrude is helping out.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how the hindquarters look on a dog, and Gertrude's modeling for me because she's almost the same dog.
Maybe not quite the same. She adds some bulging eyeballs.
Yeah, this really doesn't have anything to do with the myth, but it's a flesh-eating zombie dog, so it needs some flesh-eating zombie googly eyes.
So wrong.
I started out making a dog. I love it.
Nice doggy. Grant, you might want to sleep with one eye open tonight.
Oh, you're such a good puppy. Mwah.
Carrie, you don't want to get too attached. Over at M5, it's going to be a gas. Jamie and Adam are finally ready to activate their Rube Goldberg machine, a 100-foot-long holiday miracle with 60 moving parts.
Just to make the point, I wouldn't even walk fast near a lot of this stuff, so nobody breathe on this one, all right? I can see you're really getting into the zen of this thing.
I'm thinking about it with everything I see these days.
Well, it's time to do it. We're all done.
It's the moment of truth. Let's go do it.
Okay.
It's the moment of truth, but how's it all going to work?
Pay close attention because here's exactly what's going to happen. At the top of this cone are 10 bottles of cola. At a prescribed moment, Jamie will yank on this string, releasing a Mento into each of those 10 bottles, which will then spray cola down into this funnel, down into this tube, up to this pair of wires, which will make an electrical contact, which will release this motor, sending this bowling ball spinning down. It'll stop, but the bowling ball will keep on spinning, release itself from the screw, fall down, hit all 10 Santa bowling pins, which will yank on the string, send the skiers down. The skiers going down will yank on this magnet, which will release this soda bottle, sending the party favor going going like this, boom, releasing this Mento all the way down into the basket, releasing this Mento all the way down into this basket. This ball will go down here, tunk, tunk, dunk, release the train, woo woo, all the way around into the present. Boom, the present closes, releases Mento into this bottle of soda, sending this robot, pushing the candle under the string. The candle will burn through the string will release the hammer will hit the stove. The stove, which has roast in it, will release its roast onto this seesaw, onto the dinosaur platform, jiggling this thing, releasing the two little doodads here, which will send this seesaw going this way, releasing a ball into this robot, turning him on. This robot will find his way eventually to this hand, which will boom, turn this switch on, sending the Jacob's ladder like Frankenstein's monster. That will set off this fuse. Boom, setting the cannon off. The cannon will release the pirate's hat. The pirate's hat will turn on the monkeys. The monkeys will go down the ramp, releasing the nut from this nutcracker's mouth, which I just did. Releasing another Mento into this bottle of soda, sending this thing spinning, pulling a string out, which lets this foot kick the broken crutch here, sending Buster crashing into the ground. And that's what's going to happen.
Can a falling frozen turkey do this kind of damage? To find out, the team are about to test the pummel power of frozen fowls with their mechanical homemaker.
Seem about right? Pulling the turkey out of the freezer?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there? You've got to imagine like you're pulling a turkey out of the freezer, so the normal height is around 60 to 69 inches.
A force plate is put in the drop zone.
And that's going to tell us how much energy the dropping turkey is going to impart on your foot.
So, how many people is Mom catering for?
An 18 3/4 pound turkey. This would probably feed, I don't know, a family of 4, 2 if they're really hungry.
It's time to stop talking turkey and drop them.
Yep, good.
In 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay.
Right in the middle. Woo!
The bird dived like a boulder, but how hard did it hit?
As you can see here, the initial hit is 1,901 newtons. And that is
427.3 pounds.
wow.
Dude, that could break your foot.
Let's find out, shall we? The plate is removed, and Carrie puts her foot down.
This is very, very dangerous.
This time, they position the turkey pointing down. It might do more damage.
3, 2, 1.
That was a perfect shot.
You can feel that.
Ouch! Call your podiatrist pronto. The pointed turkey pounded the foot with more than 770 pounds of bone-crunching force.
Brutal.
That broke the middle of the foot. That's horrible.
That threw the thickest bone right here.
That was pretty thick. That's a strong part.
That was a great shot.
The reduced surface area of the pointed turkey applies more concentrated force to the foot, and therefore ups the ouch factor. With a smackdown that strong, you definitely wouldn't be doing this for a while.
Now we're going to move on to the next step in our myth, which is small pets. And I've made this ballistics gel zombie dog to illustrate our point.
Zombie dog is underfoot of the cook, prime falling scraps position.
Does anybody else feel kind of bad about this? It's kind of cute.
It's not a real dog.
I know, but I'm getting attached.
3, 2, 1.
Did you hear that sound? Did you hear that crack?
Poor little fella. A giant frozen turkey was not the treat he was hoping for. The gang checks the high speed, and it's not pretty.
That is messed up.
Still smiling. Didn't break his spirits.
Legs look like they broke, back caved. Okay, let's move on to the next one because I think it's gonna be worse.
In the name of due diligence, they put another gel pet in the danger zone.
In 3, 2, 1. Oh!
This reminds me of my Christmas.
This drop is a real eye-opener.
Oh, the head snaps around.
His little eye.
Legs snap off, the eye comes out. I was sort of like half stoked, half creeped out.
I'm all creeped out.
Our zombie dogs need urgent medical attention, so the team takes them to a veterinarian to see exactly what kind of injuries they sustained.
I dropped a turkey on my pet dog.
And then we
I
deep
can
fried
tell.
it.
I can tell.
You're just like a regular vet, and so you're probably not used to zombie dogs.
No, I'm not used to zombie dogs at all. But we'll see. We'll take a look. Mind if I hold him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's cute. There you are, little man.
The models are measured and x-rayed just like real dogs would be. Some of the other patients are not amused.
Tasty. Come on. Take a bite.
But no cigar. The reptiles just won't run.
A big part of the problem may very well be that it knows it's not a person.
How can it tell?
Yeah.
Conditions are perfect. Crocs are the most active at this time of the year, and the humid, steamy weather means they shouldn't be sluggish.
No interest whatsoever.
I'm starting to feel extremely defeated. There's a run in my stockings, and there's no crocodile running.
You know what they say about children and animals in the film industry.
You said it, Tori. Animal myths are notoriously difficult to bust. Remember skunk cleaning? Adam and Jamie set out to test a bunch of skunk smell home remedies. Only problem was, they couldn't get a skunk to kick up a stink.
Well, it doesn't work. Can we go now?
Back in Crocodile Alley, the test subjects are refusing to chase Buster's meat legs in a zigzag or any other configuration. Luckily, the MythBusters have a plan B.
We're actually going to take a quail and put it on my robot here, and this is a battle-ready combat robot. So if, unfortunately, an animal gets a hold of it in its jaws, it is built for combat, so it probably will stand up.
With its cargo of quail in place, Grant's robot sets out on its mission. Looking like the Mars rover, it parks near the edge of a pool, well within striking distance. Grant's poised to hit the accelerator at the first crocodilian quiver. But apparently, this croc doesn't feel like Meals on Wheels.
We're having a hard time getting this crocodile to come to the surface of the water, so I'm going to try to entice it with some quail, and I'm just going to drop it right in front of his nose, or her nose.
Tori ventures close and throws the bird. Nothing. Not a ripple.
I don't think he's coming out the water.
Well, the trainers here say that they're naturally secretive animals, and what's more, they're not stupid.
Yeah, he seems pretty spooked by your robot.
No response to the rig, no response to the robot. You can't say the MythBusters aren't trying.
You know, those crocodiles seem like they're slow on land, but shooting out of the water, they're lightning.
Well, actually, I've done a little bit more research, and it turns out in almost every crocodile or alligator attack since they've been keeping records, the victim has been in or near the water.
Well, then what are the rules to avoid being chomped?
First, if there are any warning signs, don't go in the water. Second, if you fall into the water, get out as quickly as possible. And third, never ever dangle your legs or arms over the side of the boat.
I think we can handle these rules.
There's only one thing left. Plan C. That's C for crazy. Tori's gonna put his behind on the line and get a croc to chase him instead. Tori, Carrie, and Grant have been wrestling with the myth that crocodiles can't run in a zigzag. So far, they haven't been able to coax a croc into running at all. You know what they say about desperate times and desperate measures.
We've tried everything to get these crocodiles to chase the food, but apparently nothing's working. So we're going to try a different approach. We're going to try to see if we can get them to chase us out of aggression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually suit up with some protective gear, get in there, try to agitate the crocodiles, and see if they'll chase me.
Tori's going out on a limb. Let's just hope all his are still there when it's over.
So let's say one of them does get a hold of my leg. What will you do to break that hold?
I will do everything I can to ease your pain as quickly as possible.
He has a stick.
And this is actually more for
knock me
you.
out with the
Yes,
stick.
exactly. The quicker you lose consciousness, the better off it is for you. Yes.
Tori's legs will be well protected. Unfortunately, the heavy padding will also slow him down.
Wait, the safety protection caused me to fall down. Protective gear is hindering me from running away from the crocodile.
Nevertheless, he's ready for a face-to-face croc confrontation. The Johnston's crocodile is found in Australian waters. It's smaller than the Cuban croc, but fast and fiercely territorial.
So this is the first test, chasing Tori with the Johnston's crocodile.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think you can catch him.
Carrie, Grant, and Tori are attempting to beat E1, the well-trained guard dog. They're going to test several techniques to sneak past the four-legged guardian, get into the safe in the center of the compound, and then escape safely with the loot.
So the first tactic I'm going to utilize is diversion. I've got some stakes. I'm going to chuck it in one side of the yard, and then I'm going to try to make a run for it.
I see, and that's supposed to draw the dog's attention away from you.
It always works in the cartoons.
Good luck with that.
Carrie gets into the dog-proof safety suit and then gives it a test run. With Carrie about as mobile as a dog's chew toy, she adapts her heist plan.
I'm not going to be able to throw anything with this. I'm going to get one of the boys to go over to the corner and throw it. That's not cheating. Everybody's got a partner in crime.
Tori gets the plan underway by interesting Ewan in his meaty treat.
Oh, look, he likes. Oh, he's looking at it. You like the meat.
I think you guys should probably go for it now, no?
Tori's tasty T-bone taunting has bought Carrie enough time to get to the safe. But then Carrie's accomplice turns nasty as Tori throws the steak into the compound.
Not at me! Not at me!
It's a poor throw, but Ewan stays focused on the meat and starts to chow down as Carrie heads for an unofficial exit on the far side of the compound. But it's locked.
Hurry, he's eating the meat.
Meanwhile, Ewan has finished the first course and goes back to Tori for more. But when Tori doesn't have another steak ready, Ewan goes to work.
Move. Oh. Okay. Call the dog. Get him. Oh, that was great. It totally worked.
Well, kinda. The delicious diversion did distract Ewan long enough to get to the safe and secure the loot. But poor planning meant that Carrie ended up as the main course.
But the necklace is somewhere inside the suit. I swear it's in here. I grabbed it.
So it's plausible to distract a guard dog with tasty treats. But without that suit, Carrie would have been breakfast.
Well done.
Next up, Grant and Tori are tackling two myths which an animal behaviorist and fan of the show suggested. And they're both based on the concept that by using body language, you can persuade the dog to leave you alone. First into the ring is Grant, and the theory is Ewan will take Grant's submissive posture as proof he's not a threat.
Oh my God, this is not working. This is not working.
I don't think it's working.
But it doesn't work. Next, Tori attempts to take alpha dog status by getting aggressive. But his top dog impression simply results in him being the dog's lunch. With the score MythBusters 1, Guard Dog 2, it's back to Adam and Jamie.
So how old is the phrase, you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Well, it's pretty old. It originated from some guy named Fitzherbert who wrote a paper on animal husbandry in 1523.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. The dogge must learn it when he is a whelpe, or else it will not be, for it is hard to make an olde dogge to stoop.
Like I said, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Adam and Jamie have the first course.
We have a killer of a myth, literally.
Bring it on.
Well, you're in a vehicle alongside a semi-trailer truck, and the myth is that when the tire blows, it's such a powerful explosion that it'll not only break your windshield, but also decapitate you.
That is perfect and right up our alley.
Tires can sure turn nasty. Overpressurize them and the results are explosive. But if you're unlucky enough to be alongside when a big rig tire blows, would you literally lose your head?
So how do you want to proceed with this?
Well, we've got to get a truck tire rolling up to speed somehow, and one way or another we've got to induce a failure in that tire.
Man, I've heard these things are like bombs when they go off. We don't want to be anywhere near it.
Maybe we can make some kind of stationary rig.
Blowing up a tire on a moving truck is way too dangerous, even for the MythBusters. But there is a solution. In the Great Gas Conspiracy, Adam and Jamie dabbled with a dynamometer, a device that can spin tires while the vehicle remains stationary.
It busts this whole thing wide open, man. It's crap. Dynamometer. Now, I was thinking this is a perfect thing for spinning our truck tire up to speed, except that nobody west of the Rockies is willing to let us blow a truck tire anywhere near their dynamometer. We're gonna have to make our own.
Why don't we do it MythBusters style? We'll say get a really powerful old pickup truck and yank the bed off of it and drive the pickup drive wheel up to speed just underneath the truck tire, and that'll take the truck tire up to speed, and we're there.
Let's do it.
In a typically ingenious plan of action, Adam and Jamie will build their own supersized dynamometer. They'll sink a pickup truck, lower a big rig onto the spinning wheels, and put Buster in the firing line.
In 3, 2, 1.
And the first step in taking Buster's block off with a blowout is paring back this pickup.
We cut the sides off this truck because we need to expose the drive wheel. The drive wheel is going to provide the power to turn the big semi-trailer tire. So we need to get at that wheel. We've got everything else out of the way. We'll put the semi-trailer on top of this and fire this puppy up and see what happens.
Jamie makes it all sound so easy, but at the Chabot gun range, the reality is that this is an enormous undertaking.
Our trailer's gonna go here. Our pickup truck's gonna go there.
The pickup's drive wheels need to spin at more than 50 miles an hour. But so that it can't go anywhere, the MythBusters must sink its tires into the ground.
Dude, give it more gas! Well, hell, that ain't no truck no more. That's a dynamometer.
With the dyno fired up, next the boys need a big rig to put on it. And this should do.
Yeah!
The key to testing this myth lies in suspending this entire truck trailer above the half-buried pickup. And how will they do that? Well, by welding it onto a forklift, of course.
I've just secured our big rig trailer to the biggest forklift we've ever used on the show, which is rated to 30,000 pounds. It's not only a safety precaution, but it's also a key part of the experiment in allowing us to adjust how much pressure is actually on the big rig's tire.
With the forklift locked and loaded, the trailer is lowered into position. And once the two tires kiss, everything's ready for a test.
I think it's time to try and spin it up. Let's do it.
Okay.
When a cowboy's hat takes a bullet in Hollywood, it takes flight like a startled bird. Does the science stack up, or are those hats flying in the face of physics? Our own Butch and Sundance aim to find out.
Are you ready?
And as we know, the MythBusters always feel right at home on the range.
What happened? He must be Frank.
That's my name.
Frank Tabor is a Wild West firearms aficionado.
Good morning. Yeah.
Frank's wagon contains an arsenal of archaic weapons.
This is a 4440 Colt. This is an 1888 manufacturer Smith & Wesson top brace. This is a Colt Pump Lightning. This one's about 1900.
Has anyone ever shot your hat off?
One time I was at a competition and my hat blew down range and everybody online shot it to pieces. Just blew it up.
Frank has what so many options for us, from long rounds, short rounds, black powder, smokeless, rifles.
Let's do it.
Our Hollywood hard guys use handguns, so Adam and Jamie select an 1860 Army Colt revolver. If that doesn't work, they'll try a Winchester lever-action rifle.
I love that.
The weapons are authentic. The 8 target hats match those worn by real cowboys in the real Wild West.
Nice high crown. Should be easy to shoot and miss the head. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's pretty darn good. All right. You want to take the first shot?
Sure.
First up, the oldest firearm, the revolver.
Range is hot.
That was perfect. Right through the top.
Didn't take it off.
No, it cocked it a little bit to the side.
The bullet left the muzzle at 750 feet per second. In bullet terms, that's not fast. But it was still fast enough to drill a neat hole straight through the crown.
You got a lot of leverage out of that. See, the bullet went in here and tore out through the top. Again, it was moving a lot of material. Okay, here comes the Winchester.
Nice shot.
Look at that, right through the center. That did not budge the hat. It could not be a more perfect shot.
The hat didn't take off, but it's way too early to call it busted.
This is the Charles Bronson Once Upon a Time in the West hat. You ready?
Ready. Range is hot.
Hey! You knocked the hat off!
Hang on, guys. Let's see the movie footage again. Bullets send these hats sky high. Jamie's shot was slightly less spectacular.
Your hit could not have been more perfect. You went through more material of that hat than any of our hits before. You went through the brim, through the brim, through the brim, and through the brim.
Yeah, but it kind of like fell off sideways.
Yeah, but if you're the guy wearing this hat and someone shoots at you, you're gonna say he shot my hat off.
Spurred on,
Find the red lady. Find the red lady, it pays $20.
our gunslingers take pot shots at their whole hat collection.
Right between the eyes.
But those brims hardly budge. And the reason is simple. When it strikes the hat, a small projectile traveling at around 1,000 feet per second doesn't encounter enough resistance and rips straight through the material. So the question is, what does it take to flip the lid on this myth? Time to pelt the felt with something a little more powerful. Now that's more like what we see on the silver screen.
All the pellets went in here, all the pellets came out there.
The birdshot sprays out at a slower speed, striking a larger surface area. The force is enough to make hat and head part company. There's one tiny problem.
But it doesn't quite leave you able to tell the tale. I mean...
Looks like he's got an acne problem right now.
The dummy's forehead looks like a lunar landscape.
Oh, I think that's a record.
That hat is gone!
On this episode of MythBusters, it's the coolest show on record as the team heads to the high country to blast a blizzard of legends in their first snow special.
Awesome!
For starters, Jamie and Adam literally try to move a mountain as they attempt to summon up a thunderous avalanche with an alpine song, a bullwhip, and some rapid fire. Then, in a probing investigation, our trio finds out if there's any idea dumber than licking a frozen pole.
Look, it's starting to rip the flesh.
And test if it's safer to drive on icy roads backwards.
Are you trying to give you how many cones you can knock over?
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
Ow, 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 ow.
And Jamie Heineman.
It's almost too exciting.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Cue dramatic music.
Joining them, Carrie Byron, Grant Imahara,
Listen to that baby purr.
and Tori Belleci.
Paramedics are nowhere to be found.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. Gather around the hot tub, folks. It's going to be glacial.
So what's the myth?
Well, we are dressed for cold weather, and that's good because we're going to test whether or not you can start an avalanche by yodeling. So it's time to get those vocal cords ready.
You think I can yodel?
I know you can.
You think I'm gonna yodel?
No, I don't.
This alpine myth is as old as the hills. Can this beloved form of melodious mountain song set off a mighty avalanche? The idea isn't as nonsensical as it sounds. In previous audio experiments, the guys proved that sound waves from the human voice are powerful enough to shatter glass and even extinguish a flame. Now, using the same notion in this ultimate auditory myth, we're going to try to bring a mountain to its knees.
You know, if we're doing myths on avalanches, we need to go to the mountains.
I think you're right. I think we will. But first, why don't we try some scale experiments here in the shop? See what we can learn about them before we go.
Sure, why not?
Jamie and Adam are testing the movie myth that diving onto a grenade will smother the blast and save your buddies. But with the neighbors likely to gripe about a grenade going off in the backyard, the team head for one of their favorite spots.
When you want to blow up grenades, you've got to go to a place where they blow up grenades. Like the Alameda County Sheriff's Department's bomb range. That's where we are here.
This place is a veritable Mythbuster mecca. Tori, Grant, and Carrie came here to blow up their pants.
Those are exploding pants.
And Jamie and Adam...
You gonna paint your house with explosives?
...had a little TNT party of their own.
Get your pirate face on! We're about to shoot some cannons!
And in the Pirate Special, Redbeard and Captain Heineman tested the myth that cannonball splinters are more deadly than the cannonball. But this time, the guys are going gung-ho with grenades, and the Mythbusters turn to some old friends, Frank Doyle and J.D. Nelson, for the crucial explosive ingredients.
All right, so what do we got?
Okay.
So, if I pull the pin on one of these things, it's going to go off, right?
No, Jamie, these are inert. We wouldn't trust Adam near the live ones. But first, Adam can't resist testing a mini-myth.
So the thing I've always wondered is, can you really pull these out with your teeth?
It works in the movies, but how about real life?
Ah! Ow. No, I don't think so. Oh, why would you do this when you had a perfectly good finger right over here?
It requires over 10 pounds of pressure to pull a grenade pin. So this myth is busted, a bit like Adam's teeth. Seeing as Jamie and Adam's expertise in this field comes from the movies, why don't we start with a little Grenades 101.
Now, what the heck are all these things?
A hand grenade is basically a small handheld explosive device. It's meant to be thrown, and after a certain delay, it goes off.
And this is how they work. As everyone knows, the pin comes out first. That releases the striker lever, which hits the percussion cap, and that sets off the chemical fuse. Finally, the detonator sparks the packed explosive material. There's a big boom, and the metal casing fragments into deadly shrapnel.
So, if the M67 is going to be our grenade today, do we get to pull the pin and throw them?
Well, we won't be doing that today for safety reasons. We'll have a very controlled situation, and I think it's a good time for JD and myself to go and prepare the actual grenades that we're going to use today.
So while control freaks Frank and JD set up a remote firing system,
let's start assembly lining this thing.
It's time to call for our movie extras. But our leading man can kick back in his trailer, as this test is the control.
We are going to detonate one of our grenades without anything inhibiting it. We're going to see what it does to our figures standing around it. Then we'll have a baseline comparison of damage to compare all the other subsequent tests to.
As the director of this slice of movie mayhem, Adam choreographs his stuntmen.
I am standing on the exact location where we're going to be detonating our series of grenade tests. The grenade is lethal within 15 feet and can cause injuries within 40 to 45 feet.
The actors are placed at 5-foot intervals from the blast epicenter. And with everyone poised for action, JD brings the small package with the big boom.
Okay, here it is.
Well, it goes right where that cone is.
Okay.
With the live grenade in position, our experts clear the area and begin their preparation.
We're going to be putting a blasting cap into the body of the grenade, into the explosive, running it by hardwire all the way back to the fire control point where we will do the button pushing and initiate the explosion.
Watch the coin. You're getting sleepy. Very, very sleepy.
Wait, why are we doing hypnosis again? Haven't we been here before?
Yep, but the furor on the fan side over mesmeric, mind-altering myths just won't let up. Despite busting the theory that you can plant a post-hypnotic suggestion in an unwilling dupe,
I had a clear idea of what they wanted me to do.
And proving as plausible that memory recall can be hypnotically enhanced,
All of that I remembered after we relaxed with the hypnosis.
the fans are demanding the team tackle self-hypnosis. Specifically, the CDs you find on the internet that claim you can change your life in any number of weird and wonderful ways.
So this time, we're gonna try self-hypnosis myth.
Those are those CDs that you listen to and they're supposed to influence you?
Yeah, they're all over the internet. You can lose weight, regrow your hair, or even quit smoking.
So why don't we each try one?
Okay, well, I volunteer for the seasickness one because personally, I'm sick of being the guy that always has to vomit on camera.
All right, well, since I'm only afraid of commitment and I doubt that's gonna change, maybe we should bring in Adam and try to help him get over his extreme fear of bees.
All right, well, if you guys are gonna work with rational myths, I would like to try something a little more outlandish. I saw one where you can change your eye color. And since that's a physical change, you'll know if it works because I'll come back with like purple eyes.
All right, sounds good. Spin me, baby.
As regular viewers will know, Grant has a tendency to go a little green around the gills.
I feel something coming up in my throat.
This NASA knockoff, affectionately known as the Chuck chair, is used to simulate the sensation of seasickness. And it works a treat on our very own barf machine. Before Grant can try his mythical seasickness cure, Carrie and Tori need a pre-hypnosis baseline.
Come on, I want to see you blow chunks.
All right, let's get this over with.
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Round and round he goes.
Oh, you suck.
Keep moving your head.
Where his stomach stops, nobody knows.
Here we go. Here we go. Attaboy. Yeah. Attaboy.
It's all
Okay.
right.
Minute 17:34.
So now they've got a baseline.
1730, totally puked.
Grant can begin testing the self-hypnotic solution for seasickness.
How you feeling, better?
Not especially.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Carrie will test a self-hypnosis CD she found on the web that claims she'll be able to turn her brown eyes as green as Grant after a trip in the Chuck chair.
I want to do this as scientifically as possible, so I've come to Corked Vision Center. They're going to take really close-up pictures of my eyes so that I have a baseline control for the experiment. I'll go through my self-hypnosis, and then when I come back, we'll take pictures in the exact same way and do a comparison to see if I was able to change the color of my eye.
The final challenge the team will tackle is Adam's deep-seated and unfounded fear of bees.
I don't know why. I've been stung plenty of times. I'm not allergic. I just can't stand those things. They freak me out.
And as always, the first step is a control to scientifically measure exactly how freaked out he gets.
We have two instruments to measure Adam's stress level. The first is the pulse meter, and this is going to measure his heart rate. If he becomes frightened, his heart rate's going to increase and it's going to spike, and we'll be able to see it here. The second piece of equipment is the galvanic skin response. Again, if he becomes frightened, he'll start to sweat a little bit, and that will change that resistance measurement.
To dial in on Adam's fear factor, he'll be spending 10 minutes with one arm in his own personal Room 101.
Oh, that's a lot of them.
Okay, heart rate spiking. Okay.
It's pretty obvious from the start, Adam is showing serious signs of stress.
Your heart rate jumped up about like 20 points.
And once Adam gets his arm inside the box of bees, the team don't need fancy equipment to measure his stress levels.
Okay, Christmas is coming. It's time to think about getting the bird.
Well, unlike my bean curd substitute turkey, there's all sorts of stories and myths about the dangers of the frozen turkey. I've heard it's cracked floor tiles, like broken toes, and even caused the death of some pets.
Well, why don't we separate fact from fiction and see how lethal these frozen turkeys are?
Yeah, it'll be like a public service.
Exactly.
Every holiday season, we humans cause the turkey population to plummet. But is it possible for a falling frozen turkey to turn the tables on us? When dropping turkeys, what do you need? Well, first up, a steel turkey dropper rig to play the role of a frazzled homemaker. Grant is making its power mechanism.
I am rigging up the air system for the turkey drop rig, and these are rotary pneumatic air cylinders. When I hit this button, it's going to open up the arms just like that, dropping the turkey.
Meanwhile, Tori demonstrates his handyman skills.
So we need some hands to hold the turkey for the turkey drop mechanism. So what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna pour up some hands in some urethane, and I'm gonna put this tube, these steel tubes, into the hands, and they will slip into the arms of the rig.
He pours the instant urethane into pre-made molds, gives them a shake, and presto. Give him a hand, everyone.
Little fella.
Don't touch me with those.
Well, you don't know where these have been? Okay.
Tori attaches his arms to the rig.
Put it there.
Using a sandbag as a substitute bird, they're ready to test its turkey dropping technique.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what the heck? Well, looks like we need to make some new hands.
Now, that's what I call a firm handshake.
Do we want to talk about why I just got hit in the head with a thumb?
No.
While the guys make their modifications, Carrie is creating some feet.
Adam already has made a mold for our steel cap boot experiment in the past, and I'm going to use this because it makes a great skeleton foot.
The skeleton is made from a mix of urethane and fiberglass that dries to a realistic bone-like texture.
Oh, there's a good mold Adam made here. This one fits into here. This one.
Then they're encased in a foot-shaped mold of ballistics gelatin.
Nice.
Her feet are definitely suffering from fallen arches, but they'll do just fine.
Okay, just go stick these in the fridge till we use them.
Now, because we're all dog lovers here at MythBusters, to test the turkeys falling on small pets myth, Carrie is making fake pooches. She covers canine replica skeletons in ballistics medium. This is definitely not a breed recommended for families with small children.
This is not a normal family Christmas for me because the dogs in my family are very cute and snuggly. They're neither drippy nor frightening.
To up the realism, professional still life model Gertrude is helping out.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how the hindquarters look on a dog. And Gertrude's modeling for me because she's almost the same dog.
Maybe not quite the same. She adds some bulging eyeballs.
Yeah, this really doesn't have anything to do with the myth, but it's a flesh-eating zombie dog. So it needs some flesh-eating zombie googly eyes.
So wrong. It's the MythBusters MacGyver special.
It's time to take the antics of one Angus MacGyver, place him under the MythBusters microscope, and separate fact from fiction. Are you ready?
The fans begged for it, so we're doing it. Mac versus the MythBusters. He's one of the boys' all-time heroes. But there comes a time when the student must challenge the master.
Ask me why I'm swinging this bottle around.
Okay, why are you swinging this bottle around?
This has to do with the very first MacGyver myth we're actually testing, which we're calling sodium jailbreak.
Bingo.
In this episode, Mac needs a hole in a wall in a hurry. Knowing that alkaline metals react violently with water, he packs pure sodium inside a gel cap and drops it in a bottle filled with water. The capsule works like a fuse. By the time it dissolves, Mac and his special new friend have time to duck and cover. It's all very clever, but would it really work? Just to be safe, they wheel in a mobile, see-through laboratory for the small-scale tests.
Well, I pulled out the birds in a truck. It's got the whole clear side. I'm going to park that outside Jamie's shop.
With Jamie scouting locations for the full-scale test, Tori volunteers to help Adam build the test rig. With a pulley, a weight,
Yeah, perfect.
a bowl of water, and a glass vial of metal sodium, Adam hopes to test the explosive potential without bringing the house down. They're using an open bowl of water, not a sealed bottle. So if there's any truth to this at all, we should get the show without the shrapnel.
I'll cut that string, break the glass that the sodium's in, release it into the water, and show us what happens.
Pure sodium is so volatile, it could even react with moisture in the air. So, Better safe than singed.
That's why I am so well protected from any kind of splashback, toxicity, anything. Nothing can get inside my suit, and with the face shield on, I think I'm properly protected.
Giant banana number 2 reduces the risk by painting the tray with mineral oil. This gasoline byproduct stops alkali metals from reacting with atmospheric water.
Kind of like a cooking show, except it'll kill you. Okay, so now it's sitting on the mineral oil. Everyone eyes open, this is for real. It's scary.
The sodium metal cuts just like butter.
Look at that.
Whoa.
That is far out.
So that, oh my gosh.
All right, so.
That's just metal.
2 small slices make 1 thin gram, and that's exactly what MacGyver used to blow a hole in a wall.
1 gram of sodium, it looks so innocuous. It's part of table salt, for crying out loud.
Good luck.
I'll see you at the shield.
Be careful.
Hey, Adam's middle name is Careful. Then again, his last name is, well, let's get on with it. They'll do this test twice. First, with the vial sitting on top of the water.
So this is sodium surface test in 3, 2, 1.
Wah, wah.
No, it's gonna take a second.
There you go.
That was cool. It wasn't a single reaction. It was like a pow, 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 which actually lends credence to the MacGyver clip in which there are 2 bangs, not just 1.
But will this bonsai 4th of July ever be big enough to blow a man-sized hole through solid masonry? The boys repeat the test with a sodium vial immersed in water.
From what I understand from the science, being under the water is probably going to be less of a reaction than being on top of the water.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out.
This is sodium underwater. In 3, 2, 1. That looks like it worked.
Yeah. Whoa! That was a bigger one.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if Adam ever gets tired of being wrong. MacGyver got it right, and that's a good enough result for Jamie to call in the contractors.
Okay, you guys are gonna build a wall. We're gonna blow it up, but do a good job anyway. Let's go.
You guys like baseball?
Are you kidding? I love going to the ball game.
Well, so do our fans, and they have inundated us with baseball myths to bust.
So what have we got?
Can a corked bat hit a ball further?
And what about whether sliding into bases quicker than running?
How about the one, does a dry ball go farther than a humid ball?
Exactly. And can you hit a baseball so hard, you knock the hide right off?
Sweet.
And we have got a real baseball legend to help us out.
Who?
None other than the Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens? How did we get him?
Turns out the Rockets fan of the show.
Let's play ball.
That's right, it's the MythBusters and the MythBuster. He's one of the all-time baseball greats, pitcher Roger Clemens. In a career spanning more than 20 years, the man they call the Rocket has won a World Series and taken out the prestigious Cy Young Award an amazing 7 times. He also happens to be a big fan of MythBusters. And Jamie's stammering with excitement.
I'm speechless to have the Roger Clemens here helping us deal with these baseball issues.
Later in the show, we'll study the mojo of the throw and answer once and for all the age-old question. Can a baseball really slide and curve? Or is it just an optical illusion?
I'm gonna try and give it my best out here so you can tell what this baseball actually does with these high-speed cameras.
We'll return to Roger later. In the meantime, our first baseball myth's a real corker.
Man, how great is it to have Roger Clemens helping us do baseball myths?
Yep, can't wait to see him do his stuff.
Well, our first myth is a total classic, the corked bat.
What's a corked bat about?
Here's the idea. You drill a hole in the end of a normal regulation Major League Baseball bat, you put some cork in there, you plug it back in with wood, and that bat is all of a sudden able to hit balls a lot farther.
Is that legal in baseball?
It's ever so slightly totally illegal.
Huh.
You bet it's illegal. In 2003, the baseball world was rocked when star slugger Sammy Sosa's bat split during a game, exposing a cork core. He claimed it was a practice bat he'd picked up by mistake, but Sosa was immediately ejected from the game and suspended for 7 matches.
What do you think our general plan is?
Well, we get a bunch of bats, figure out how to cork some of them, and see which one will hit a ball further.
I think we should remove the human element from this as much as we can. Let's make a machine that swings the bat at the exact same speed every time.
Yeah, and while we're at it, we need to do the same sort of thing with the ball, only we can use a cannon instead of the swinging machine.
You know what? I'm thinking that we've already built everything we need to test this myth for previous episodes. We don't need to go out anywhere. It's all right here in the shop.
Yeah, a few modifications maybe, but they'll work.
Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a MythBusters first. No blueprint diagrams, no time-consuming builds. This baseball myth will be totally off the shelf.
Cary Grant and Tori built a sword swinging rig when they were doing sword cutting a sword. That's perfect for swinging a baseball bat. And 2, Jamie and I already built an air-powered cannon.
That is so wrong.
Which is perfect for throwing baseballs at speeds well up to the supersonic range, I think.
All right, here we go. I'm flicking the switch.
First, a test firing, just to blow away the cobwebs.
That's a nice download, man. That is fast.
Now, a Roger Clemens fastball fizzes towards the batter at between 90 and 100 miles per hour.
There we go.
But Adam and Jamie will go for a more average fastball speed, about 80 miles an hour.
Let's just quickly try 7 psi.
The air pressure required to do that is around 7.5 pounds per square inch.
At
7.5 psi.
Here we go.
79 miles per hour. Close enough.
All right, you guys, get ready for this one. Crocodile myth.
Is it that they live in the sewers?
No.
Is it the crocodiles have tears?
No. This one is, if you're getting chased by a crocodile, you can easily escape it by running in a zigzag pattern, because they cannot turn corners.
In the water, the crocodile is a lightning-quick ambush predator. In that explosive split second when they strike, crocodile lunges have been clocked at around 30 miles an hour. Lunging is one thing, running is another. According to the myth, if you're being chased by a crocodile, all you have to do is run in a zigzag, because their long bodies and short legs cannot make sharp turns.
All right, you guys, this one seems a little dangerous. How do you think we should test it?
Let's use Buster first. We'll build a rig that pulls him in a straight line, and then one that pulls him in a zigzag.
Well, let's try to make this a little interesting instead of just sticking a stake to Buster's butt. Maybe we can make a pair of meat legs.
How do you make meat legs?
Don't ask me.
Guess that'll be your job. We'll build the rig.
The plan is to dangle a dummy from a remote-controlled trolley, which moves from side to side. The trolley, in turn, will be suspended from a steel track. As the trolley is pulled along the track, those juicy meat legs will zigzag. Then they'll take the rig to a croc farm and see if they can make some reptiles run. But this time, believe it or not, Buster's off the hook.
The rig that we're gonna have to put up is going to be suspended. Therefore, my Buster needs to be really, really lightweight. I'm gonna make him entirely out of foam for a torso, and then I might have a little surprise for his legs.
Soon, a new foam Buster is rising like a cake in an oven.
As you can see, he's very light, and it's not going to put a whole lot of strain on the rig.
This new lightweight Buster hasn't got a leg to stand on, but Carrie has a pair of meat legs all mapped out.
What are these?
They're fishnet stockings.
He'll be wearing fishnet stockings.
Give me all your cash!
And they'll be stuffed with quail. But these are not like any frozen bird you might find in your supermarket.
See,
Oh my God!
I can't do this.
They got feathers on them still.
I can't do this.
You know what? They're not even gutted.
It's a quail sickle.
Put it down! Put it down! No, seriously.
I never
You are
juggled dead quails
You are
before.
so messed up. Put these down, go back to working whatever you're working on, because I have a really busy day of putting dead birds in sexy lingerie.
Now, there's a sentence you don't hear every day. And here's another. Carrie has to choose the lingerie least likely to come apart while being chewed.
You've got nylon, you got spandex, you got cotton, and I need to test and see which one of these are going to be the best for the crocodiles to be able to hold on to.
With the different stocking stuffed, Carrie takes a scalpel and makes like a crocodile tooth.
I think I'm going with the 100% cotton fishnet stockings.
Adam and Jamie are trying to get a handle on the Hindenburg blaze.
Wow!
Was the airship's metallic paint to blame? The paint on this panel matches the one on the doomed airship. It contains aluminum and iron oxide, two compounds that combine to create explosive thermite. Will they get a reaction? Adam puts flame to the frame.
Go.
No thermite reaction, no intense heat. In fact, it takes 5.5 minutes for the panel to be consumed. That's almost twice as long as the aluminum-coated cotton.
It's almost identical to the cloth by itself.
Wow.
Hang on, guys. Don't write off this myth yet. That was one little panel. The Hindenburg was covered in thousands of square feet of material. Could there be a better boom on a bigger scale?
I mean, maybe there's some crazy amount that could yield an energetic reaction, but it's not this amount.
Obviously, the Hindenburg's designers didn't set out to coat their creation in rocket fuel. Those who pan the paint theory say the aluminum and iron oxide couldn't have formed thermite because the compounds weren't mixed that way. The recipe was completely different. So that's got the MythBusters curious. What would happen if you did paint pure thermite on the skin?
It's more like a paste than a paint, but I think we can smear it on.
Next up,
Mega dope.
So where do we start?
Well, I think we should start and find out how long it takes to make a flint arrowhead as opposed to a sharpened stick. Let's have a race. You should make some flint ones, and I'll sharpen some sticks, and we'll compare production times.
Yeah, and when it comes to testing time, we need to both look at their lethality as well as their accuracy, because they're both important.
I agree. So if you're ready, time to dust off those flint napping skills, because if I'm right, it's about 70 years since you've done it last.
And they're off. First up in this archaeology anecdote, Adam and Jamie go head-to-head in an arrow-making time trial. Stickmaker Savage has made a razor-sharp point in no time at all. But Jamie's finding fashioning flint is far from easy.
Okay. 3.5 minutes.
I can't even come close to competing with that.
There's no contest. Jamie's been shafted. But he keeps chipping away, and an hour later, finally finishes.
We've just seen that it takes much longer to make a stone arrowhead. Now we need to find out if that makes for better arrows. And to do that, we're going to start with a simple lethality test. We'll make some more flint heads, we'll make some more pointed sticks, and we'll fire them into a ballistics gel dummy from a point-blank range. To make sure that both arrow types are fired consistently, we're going to use the automatic archer that we built for the Ninja Special.
So, that's the plan. But what does our resident Neanderthal think is going to happen? Well said. So, with the predictions in place, it's time to get to the point.
All right, you ready?
Go for it.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Worked like a charm.
Totally.
The sharp stick shot straight as an arrow. But what about the all-important penetration?
Wow. 8.5 inches.
8.5 inches ain't bad. But will the flint be flung further?
Okay, here goes the arrowhead in 3, 2, 1. Look at that. That is pretty clear. The arrowhead went a good inch farther.
There's a glint of flint at the back of the bust and 1 inch more penetration, confirmed by a bunch more tests. But Jamie spotted a problem.
The ballistics medium by itself is a good flesh analog, but animals usually have fur and hide and things like that on it. So we're going to run the test again and see whether we get any kind of different results with this on it.
Despite the hide slightly hindering both the stick and flint arrows, the results are the same.
Actually, they were very close.
But is that enough to justify all the effort of making one?
This one went in this far, this one went in this far. I mean, you're dead either way.
Right. However, you know, if you think about the animals that are being hunted, some of them are quite large, and you want a bigger wound. You want it to bleed out faster. So I think the arrowhead makes quite a difference. I mean, if you look here, yeah, look at that. There's the pointy stick wound. It's just a little hole, and there's the arrowhead wound. It's nice and wide.
But Jamie isn't impressed. In his mind, the size of the entry wound isn't the issue.
In terms of penetration, it was only about 5% difference, and yet it took 1,000% longer to make this one than this one. So it may not just be about lethality, it might also be about accuracy, and that's what we have to test next.
Yep, they're leaving no stone unturned for this myth.
MythBusters.
Nope, we haven't made this up. It's a myth straight from the fan side.
For the next viewer myth, a fan wants to know if you can chop down a tree with a machine gun.
Oh, just like in the movie Predator, where they mow down a chunk of the jungle.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's funny you should say that, because every time I go hiking in the forest and I'm just like, can I cut that tree down with a machine gun?
Perfect. You're gonna find out.
Tree lovers, huggers, and hippies beware. Tories all fired up and ready to uproot this myth with some machine gun mayhem. Machine guns are a formidable weapon and have been in use for over 100 years. Their deadly spray of bullets, lethal on the battlefield, is, or so the fans claim, the ideal tool for tree felling. Gather around the hot tub, folks. It's going to be glacial.
So what's the myth?
Well, we are dressed for cold weather, and that's good because we're going to test whether or not you can start an avalanche by yodeling. So it's time to get those vocal cords ready.
You think I can yodel?
I know you can.
You think I'm gonna yodel?
No, I don't.
This alpine myth is as old as the hills. Can this beloved form of melodious mountain song set off a mighty avalanche? The idea isn't as nonsensical as it sounds. In previous audio experiments, the guys proved that sound waves from the human voice are powerful enough to shatter glass and even extinguish a flame. Now, using the same notion in this ultimate auditory myth, we're going to try to bring a mountain to its knees.
You know, if we're doing myths on avalanches, we need to go to the mountains.
I think you're right. I think we will. But first, why don't we try some scale experiments here in the shop? See what we can learn about them before we go.
Sure, why not?
Before heading out, Adam makes a mountain by building a fiberboard tray and attaches it to a tiltable stand.
Instead of making a mountain shape, we've gone with a flat plane to eliminate the variables of the topography of the mountain.
They've got their mountain, now they need some winter weather. The guys secure a wooden frame to the scissor lift and staple a sheet of fly screen to the base. A couple of small pancake motors mounted on the corners will really get things shaking.
Oh, that's great.
Next, they spread a thick layer of flour over the mesh.
The screen is hopefully going to snow down our flour in a really nice, even fashion. And then, let's see if we can't start an avalanche here in the shop in scale. Okay, here we go.
They raise their giant sifter to the sky.
We're gonna have flour everywhere.
And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
You could use this for rolling out dough and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
In mountainous regions, the most common and destructive kind of avalanche is called a slab avalanche, when a strong, cohesive layer of snow forms on top of weak snow. All it needs is a trigger to break loose. So it's crucial for Adam and Jamie to get their scale test poised at the most precarious point possible.
135. 36.
As the flower slowly builds up, they wait and watch for the exact point it all comes tumbling down.
316, 320.
So I'm gonna kill it at 330. Uh-oh.
It went at exactly 320.
Now that they've got the trigger point timed right on the verge, Jamie groons the run. They recoat the slope.
316, 320.
Kill it?
Okay.
And are ready to make some noise.
I think it's really hair trigger.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you the decibel meter. So start out at 60, and if I go higher than that, just start dialing it up.
Adam may not be a professional yodeler.
I'm gonna yodel at a soft volume and slowly build up.
But who doesn't know and love such movie classics as Heidi and the Sound of Music? His strange warble wouldn't have startled a mountain goat.
That was 90.
That's giving me a headache.
Okay. Well.
I can't imagine what it's doing to you.
Well, it definitely did nothing to the snow.
All right, well, that's about as loud as I can get. I think it's time to go to the megaphone.
Okay.
A megaphone should take this scale test to the max.
Is it off the charts?
Yeah, that was maxing it out at 120.
120, that's like as loud as a jet engine, right?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, let's try this again.
Aiming the megaphone toward a different part of the mountain might hit the right note.
Oh! That is a result.
That was a hair trigger, and it went. It went with sound from your voice.
Oodle-hee-hoo. This alpine tale may just be true.